I'm all finished with my collage and now I'm ready to stamp. So I want to have my paper next to me, and then I need to gather some supplies or go to the workstation where the supplies are. You're going to get a metal tray that we use for inking surface, and then a brayer with some black ink on it. When you get your ink, you're just going to dab it into the pile of ink. You're not taking it all, and then you're going to spread it out. On the tray. Your goal is to come up with a nice solid dark space, and you should be hearing that tearing sound, sort of like Velcro. Once you have that, and you can see that your brayer is completely covered with the ink, then it is time to roll it onto your stamp. So you're going to just take the brayer and go on top of the stamp, and you want to do this a couple of times. And when you think you have enough, I would probably go back and get some more ink. Now, can you hear the difference when I roll this ink compared to the earlier stuff? As I look at the ink, I notice the texture is a little bit smaller too, so it's not quite as loud. I'm going to add a little bit more ink because I want to hear already. Can't you hear how much louder that is? We want to hear a pretty good tear with our ink. And then I'm going to add it some more. And if you listen carefully, you might even hear that tearing sound on the stamp itself. So now that my ink is on my stamp, I'm going to grab my paper, and I want to hold my stamp where I want it, kind of not setting it down yet, trying to center it, put it where I want. And then once I'm happy with it, I press it down. When you press it down, you can kind of put the heel of your hand on it, and kind of give it a good push. Maybe even wiggle the paper itself a little bit. And then you can peel it off, and you get a nice black print. Now that the print is done, you can wash off your linoleum, and then if it's dry, you can take it home today. The last thing you have to do to finish up is to make sure you have your entire quote written a little bit bigger with Sharpie. My quote is, "Don't lose hope. When the sun goes down, the sun comes up." And this is kind of what I was thinking of doing as I wrote my letter. So I'm going to work on doing that on my final piece here. I want this to stand out, be a little bit more obvious than the quotes that you have all written as a class. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger. And I might even go over my words the letters a couple of times so it stands out. And over here I'll put when the sun goes down, and I'll maybe write this high so I can go down like I did here. The stars come out. Okay?